Hello, everyone. Um, for right now, I just woke up and it's been kind of a hard night last night, and I just wanted to share some stuff going on with myself, and maybe the same things are happening with other people out there and they would like to share. Um, I'm new to this kind of format with this channel and sharing these kinds of things. And I would like to build on that. And, I don't really have a structure or a time limit. And I just want to share. I'll just dive in. You know, 38 years old, and family stuff usually comes in and it hits you pretty hard because you care about these people and you love these people. Excuse me. And there's a lot of emotion there, and trying times that you've been through together, and sometimes not necessarily against each other, but just by interacting with each other. And right now is one of those times where you're interacting and it's really hard, and you kind of don't really know what to do. You don't really know who to talk to and who to share with. So I just want to use this as maybe something that I can share with. I know there's a lot of communities out there. There's no abuse or anything. It's just something that I want to talk about. So let me just say, especially when you work with family, it can be hard because I want to empathize as much as I can, and 38 years old. I've worked off and on with my father, one of my parents, probably since I was about 18. Um, and it can be stressful at times, excuse me, but also, you know, kind of rewarding because you get to see this person, that you don't really see in this type of way, you know. Um, you want to interact, you want to kind of be friends a little bit, but it's not really there to be friends. And when you're younger, uh, it can be hard because you see this person in a completely different way, and especially when they're managing their own business. um, you kind of get preferential treatment growing up because there might be extra income and certain things that you might get that you're proud of and you feel good about, and maybe that can come off as confidence to other friends at that age. But now at this age, there are steps that you want to take and you want to keep taking as you get older. Sometimes it's very challenging for these parents that have had their business and their structure and the way that they have raised you. And you get to this point now where I have my own son who's going to be 2 years old on October 1st. Um, for them to kind of adjust, and it's challenging for them, and especially in the older age. I'm not necessarily saying anything against older age, but it's more the length of time that they have been in their thought process. And it could be the same for anybody. I'm still growing my thought process. I'm a certain age. I can imagine you add 25 years to my age, 35 years. My father's 73. You add that, and you're going to have definitely an established way that is just that way. Um, it's really it's just challenging um, to just kind of deal with when you're working with someone that wants you to fit in this box that they have established for themselves, for you to be in. everybody, and there is no room for any sort of difference on anything. And questions or inquiries or things of that sort explode, into these real high flare points fast. And you're just like, now it's like, what am I supposed to feel now? Do I back into a small corner because this person kind of brushed off anything that I said just to push it away because they don't really know how to interact? Um, so I have to kind of cower and kind of retreat because it's just not going to be dealt with. And in their minds, you know, they're doing everything for you. Everything is for you. But it's like, where is my input? Where is my, contribution? I'm here to contribute. I am this age. I had to learn a lot of things that went against, this structure and this box that was created for me. Um, you know, Almost like an anti-train of thought, so I could expand my mind and my learning process and my ability and the way to share that and work with people. A lot of these things that I learned on my own, you know, using the structures that were there, but expanding them. And that's life for everybody. I wish that from my child. Um, you know, you get into an argument, with a parent, and this person is frustrated over things that are not really um, prudent to what you're even saying. It's more just kind of like a rapid fire gun to just kind of shoot you down, and keep you where you are, like handcuffs. That's what it feels like sometimes. Um, and I didn't sleep last night. I couldn't sleep yesterday. I felt an enormous amount of stress for at least about 12 hours. Um, and normally I don't really drink beer or any kind of spirits at all. I had a beer. And I watched a movie and I felt pretty happy because it just kind of mellowed out. And this was, later into the night, always past midnight. But it's just family stuff, and I don't want to get into too many specific details, but like I said, you got an older structure, someone that has had health issues, major health issues, looking at probably death's door to a degree. Finally received the right help that he needed, and I'm very, very happy about that he is going to survive at this point. Um, and being recruited and being brought in to work for his business when I had a job and I was doing pretty well. I was definitely in the beginning of that snowball effect in a new job where you start to build up and you learn and you meet new people, and it's challenging, and some days are really frustrating and some days are rewarding. You're taking little tidbits out of what you're gaining and what you want to do, because maybe this isn't the right place, but that's okay, because just being out there and challenging yourself and getting that time to do that makes you want to do more, and to be sort of sidetracked to say, oh, you're doing great, come over here, I got a spot for you, and you listen because you have voiced concern that the job isn't really for you, but there is a certain length of time that you're probably going to do it anyways because it's just learning. And you leave, on some health scares. You do take some time off. There were some major health scares, life or death, and you step up to the plate and you help, and you go into this business after a month or two to learn, thinking, okay, there are some major health scares. We don't know how it's going to go. Let me invest everything I have to really help and contribute and learn and, push the business forward. Maybe you sense that there's a little bit of a lag just based on my experience that I have. So I was there, and after about, a certain period of time, you kind of notice that it's not really the right fit. It's just not. I was there, from about 19 years old till about 27, and coming back at 37, 38. 11 years later, you see the same stuff, and you see the same structure, and the same way that you're being treated, and you're just like, this is not right for me. And you kind of wait, but you slowly develop kind of this unhappiness because you have this person that's sick, and you don't want to leave, you don't want to just bail, but you are on a momentum shift, especially at this age. I'm not 73. I'm not thinking comfort and just stay. I'm thinking move forward, especially after a lot of things that have happened just to get to this point in life. 21 years out of high school, just to get here. You talk about climbing some mountains. My thoughts are different. I want to move up in life, and it's not just financial based. It's a lot of things. It's part of it, but there's a lot of things that are growth based, and frustration kicked in, depression kicked in, and you're just like, I want out of here, but you stay, and you don't really feel that you have anyone you can go to in your family because they share everything. So you feel stuck, and there's a trapped feeling. So, I stepped away, and I needed to take some time because a lot of the health stuff, you're dealing with, is this person even going to make it? What am I going to do? A lot of the things in life financially have been gone through this person very forcefully, which is not a good feeling. And I have felt this way for a long, long time. And it's purposely structured this way so myself and others feel trapped financially. And it's a horrible feeling because it could be trapped in any way, physically, emotionally, whatever it is. It's a person that's trapping you, knowing that they're doing it, and feeling pretty damn good about themselves, and knowing that you don't feel happy. They give you more. Here's more short-term cash to stay stuck with kindness. It's about a horrible, as horrible of a cycle as you can imagine, and it is what it is. So yesterday, I've been more or less kind of on leave, and I'll admit, I knew I was getting paid. It doesn't make me proud. I knew I was getting paid, and I was doing the most menial work, coming from an environment where I would go in there for like 6 months and sit. That's all I was doing all day. I'd get lunch, 15, go down the block, get a $15 lunch, $10 lunch, come sit at my desk and just sit. And coworkers weren't really interacting with me. Like I said, the owner, my father, was sick at the time. I was told there will be no changes happening. I wanted to at least build some type of communication with my coworkers, with something as small as a office meeting that was shut down because it was just too too much, I guess. I don't really know the right words to use, but that was shuttered very quickly uh, by everybody. Um, and if you're going to work a job and you're not getting support from the person who recruited you, and towards the end of your, not necessarily tenure, but after a certain amount of time, you're being told, the outline of your job has changed differently from, assistant this person to now personal assistant to now you're just getting help to now, the only money that you're earning is considered helping money. And you're just like, you don't want me there. I'm just an asset. You just own me just to sit and not really contribute. And any voice of concern, again, like I mentioned earlier, is just shuttered. Sometimes with a flare up, a flash of anger, or just told you're wrong right to your face. You're wrong. They'll say it 100 times. You're wrong in a row. And 38 years old, you're just like, I remember how it was when I was a kid, and you're being told you don't know what you're talking about. Things are being set up for you, more or less implied that it's all behind the scenes, things that you don't know about, and you just sit there. And promises of more money, more work, building something, and you just sit there. And you're waiting for this person essentially to get healthy for themselves. And you're getting messages and pictures and phone calls that this person feels so great that they're feeling healthy. And I'm supportive as much as I can, and I am absolutely supportive, and I'm happy that the health is improving. But are we not all in this together? You brought me in. Are we not all here to work together? No, we're not. That's not what the structure is. Structure is one person, and we all clamor for less than what we're being promised purposefully. So yesterday there was a flare up. I noticed a little bit of an accounting error. Also considering that, I took a pretty substantial cut from my previous job with bonuses to leave that income to come over and work here. And I don't know the percentages, but I'd say it was at least for a bi-weekly, at least a 25% cut, maybe about 30, pretty close to a bi-weekly kind of thing, or excuse me, bi-monthly. So that was already less also, because before at the other job I was getting paid bi-weekly, and now I'm getting paid bi-monthly. So it's basically two cuts. And to come over and basically have to think that I'm being helped. And I took the cut because I thought I was helping in return. This person is investing into me, a new computer for my desk, different things. And it just kind of, it just blew up. So I sat out, and I was making that 30% cut, 25-30%. I'm not really sure, somewhere in there, for about 5 months, until I spoke up and said, "This is, I've got a new place, a new apartment. I have a son, that I give his mother monthly payments for that. And I love my son, and I wanted to do the right thing and continue to pay, which I have, and just a lot of stuff. So taking that pay cut and I spoke up and I said, I need more. So it was raised up maybe another 20%. So I was still, at that point, I was still under what I was making before, minus any bonuses, hourly rate. But I accepted it, and I went and I side hustled driving, which I had been doing for many years prior. Hard work, very, very hard work, very, very physically taxing. So I was essentially getting paid twice and wanting to do work, but eventually I didn't want to go in. I didn't even want to study for the license anymore that is potentially being offered. You start there. There are many things you can do without a license, and I ended up doing nothing, which really shuttered, my momentum to even want to get one, because it's like, why get one for this type of business if we're not doing anything now, and I have to kind of beg for work and really, really push just to get really anything to do. And I mean, I don't say that lightly, anything. What's a license? With a license, what would that change? I'm magically going to be busy, 10 times the amount, 5 times, 2 times the amount I am now, because I go in there. At the time I was going in there, 4 or 5 hours a day, Monday through Friday, sometimes Saturday. And I just sit, study. That's it. That's all I was doing. There's no assignments. You want to do anything. Boring. You're bored. Not stimulated at all. But I knew it because, the owner, my father, was sick. So I didn't say anything. And he got better. And I knew that me being there was a stress. So I kind of did go back into the shadows a little bit. Just to kind of take some pressure off so he could just focus on getting healthy. And now that he's feeling healthy, now you have flare-ups. Someone that's starting to feel stronger again. Their voice gets louder, and you make an inquiry, you make a question, and they go from 0 to 100 to shutter you. And that's what happened yesterday, because I noticed an accounting error on my pay. And I can understand the other side. He just figures, he's just paying me and I'm not doing anything, when I left what I had to come here. Hospital visits, I sat there, communicated on everything. Even the menial work, the last few weeks, I did it 100%. And to be told, you think you're worth this amount. Actually, I was making more. With another offer that I let go, that was at least $10 more an hour, with bonuses there too. But I didn't do that one because I wanted to see my son. So yeah, I'm actually probably worth, I don't want to say double, but on an hourly rate, what I was making for those last 2.5 months after asking, probably worth about minimum $10 more than what I was making. So yeah, I do. And that really kind of hurt, but it's just kind of par for the course, and what is just has been for a long time. These are my thoughts, and I don't want to wrap up on that kind of somber mode. I'll admit, the ending of this story is, as soon as it happened, because let's say, man, maybe 3 or 4 months ago, talking to a recruiter that had helped me previously, I felt alive, but I pushed it away. I pushed away my own feelings to be happy and to really push and strive and really achieve. I pushed it away, and it's been 9 months working there. And, here we are. I'll admit, there's a fear, but it's not necessarily afraid. It's more just kind of like the unknown. to get out there and push and find something else. And that's where I am. And with this kind of stuff, you got to be careful, because a person like this is going to come back around again and make the same offers again. Lots of money, lots of work. I'm going to provide all these things for you. You're going to be happy. You're going to have tons of cash. Um, but it's not what it seems. So you just have to be very, very careful. And sometimes it can come from people who are very close to you. And you have to be very careful. But like I said, the end is gear up and find joy in what I'm doing. Um, I do have bills to pay and work to do, and I just wanted to share. And I look forward to sharing more stories of adventure where you really get to experience, and myself also, the growth of just building a life. And we're here now, and I was here before, and this is where it is. So thank you for listening.